Rylan is a TV icon who has been on our screens for over a decade. Has fronted various different shows including This Morning, Big Brother's Bit on the Side, Supermarket Sweep, and Strictly Come Dancing's It Takes Two. However, Rylan decided to quit the BBC dance show last year. He also recently presented This Morning with his pal Emma Willis, and their chemistry was so good, fans called for them to be made permanent. However, Rylan said that he wouldn't want to take on the role full-time. Speaking to The Standard, he said, "It has been lovely being with everyone, nice seeing everyone. I'm very lucky in the fact that everyone I'm hosting with is a mate. It is work but, we just have a laugh." Before it was announced that Ben Shepherd and Kat Deely would be replacing Holly Willoughby and Philip Schofield, who both quit last year, Rylan said he wouldn't be taking the role on full-time despite theories floating around. He added, "The fact that I don't work there all the time, FG lovely cause I ain't got to worry about it. It's nice just to drop in, show my teeth off and then leave." Rylan's schedule is too busy anyway as he hosts a Saturday afternoon show on BBC Radio 2. Rylan took over Zoe Ball's slot on the station when she moved on to present the station's breakfast show back in 2019. Has also currently working on new series called Dating Naked for Paramount+. We take a look into Rylan's life on and off-screen. Reality shows. Before Rylan rose to fame on The X Factor, he actually appeared on another reality show called Signed by Katie Price. Rylan said that he got very close with Katie during filming of the show. Talking about the show, he wrote in his book, "To be honest, it was flawed from the start, but one thing I did get out of it was getting very close to Katie, who I got to know behind the scenes, and then there was Jordan." He then starred on the 9th series of X Factor where Nicole Scherzinger was his mentor. After not finding success on the X Factor, the following year in 2013, he won Celebrity Big Brother before becoming a presenter on Bit on the Side and This Morning. Real name Rylan, whose real name is Ross, decided that if he was to make it in showbiz he needed to change his name like Katie Price did as her alter ego Jordan. In his autobiography, 10, he said that he went to W.H. Smith and flicked through the R section to try and pick a new name. He eventually chose Rylan, which he took as his work name. During his stint on Signed by Katie Price, Rylan actually became a bit of a public enemy on the show. He said, "I only had myself to blame. I created him, I was the one who'd played along week in week out on national TV, trying to make something of myself." He said that Katie was one of the first people that he turned to when dealing with the backlash. "I rang her and she told me not to give a flying F and carry on being me. She said she'd created Jordan. It created me. Deal with it." Big Brother snub. Last year, Big Brother returned to our screens after a 5-year hiatus, and apparently Rylan was keen to get back on the revamped show as a presenter, however was snubbed as AJ Adudu and Will Best took on hosting duties. Speaking about it on Loose Women last year, he revealed he was quite upset about it. Rylan said, "So obviously Big Brother was a massive part of my life. It was my favorite thing in the world to do. For the past 5 years since it's been off I've been very vocal in saying it should come back. In my eyes, it's the best reality show out there. At that point I didn't know what was going with Big Brother. It said I hope him a part of it. And I suppose naively and stupidly to a point, I thought he'd been there 6 or 7 years. You've been to my house, I've got a diary room built. I love the show so much. I just presumed it'd be asked back. And I wasn't. It didn't transpire to be. I could be one of those people who says it wasn't what I wanted. It was what I wanted. I would have gone back to Big Brother in a heartbeat. It was quite difficult actually because I didn't find out until everyone else found out, which I was quite upset about. Divorced Rylan and met policeman Dan Neil in 2013 before getting engaged on a trip to Paris. They tied the knot at Braxton Park in Essex in 2015 in front of a host of celeb guests. Rylan and Dan became the first gay couple to present This Morning when the pair stepped in to cover Eamon and Ruth on a show in July 2016. In 2021, it was announced that Rylan and Dan were going their separate ways after 6 years of marriage. At the time, Rylan took a step back from his BBC Radio 2 show for 4 months as the pair faced difficulties. In June 2021, Rylan confronted the rumors and said, "Following reports about Dan and I spending time apart, I feel I have to speak out as the way it is being reported is unfair. I have made a number of mistakes which I deeply regret and have inevitably led to the breakdown of our marriage." Following the breakdown of his marriage, Rylan was really struggling with his mental health. He explained that he found himself unable to do even the smallest task as he was consumed by his emotions but learned to take small steps and rebuild his life. He told The Sun on Sunday, "I couldn't make my mom a cup of tea. I had the fear. I couldn't do it. I couldn't listen to music and I couldn't watch TV. What I look back on is little things. You need to look at yourself like a toddler. Going to the kitchen and pressing the button on the kettle is a step. The day that you go, I'm just going to press the button, I'm not making the tea, let it boil, F it off. The day you do that, that's a little step. And the reason I say toddler is because you sit and applaud yourself for that." On an episode of the High Performance podcast, he opened up about his breakdown. He said, "A year ago I had a marriage breakdown, which turned into a mental breakdown for me." Rylan said it was the first time that his career slowed down and stopped, saying, "I was the one pressing the emergency stop button. I just stopped and shut down, for 5 months." He suggested that for almost a decade he never had time to breathe and understand his rise to fame, having said on the podcast that he had become famous overnight. He explained to hosts Jake Humphrey and Damian Hughes that he tried to take his own life during the difficult period. He however stated that he is now glad that he is still alive. And asked how he is doing now, he commented, "Brilliant. Really good. The clouds started to part when I realized that I hadn't lost something I thought I had. I turned a situation that I thought was an awful situation into an opportunity. I was 34 and I realized that when something's not right, it's not right. It wasn't right." Philip Schofield. Rylan made a subtle dig at former colleague and TV presenter Philip Schofield, as he discussed his major scandal. Schofield quit ITV after he admitted he had engaged in an unwise, but not illegal affair with a younger male colleague whilst he was still married. In an interview with The Telegraph, Rylan seemed to make reference to the Phil Schofield situation. He said, "The only time I ever get involved in something like that is when my name's involved." He added, "Work hard, be decent to everybody and be nice to everyone on the way up, because everyone has a fall." During the same interview, Rylan also addressed when his name was dragged into Hugh Edwards' scandal. before Edwards was revealed as the presenter at center of scandal regarding a teenager allegedly being paid tens of thousands of pounds in exchange for explicit photographs. Rylan's name began to circulate online alongside other famous BBC stars including Gary Lineker and Jeremy Vine. He said, "But this is my point. One person would have said, 'I've heard it's Rylan,' or, 'I bet it's Rylan.' Someone else sees that, and the next thing you know there's a paper using my photo on the story." Join the Daily Record WhatsApp community. Get the latest news sent straight to your messages by joining our WhatsApp community today. You'll receive daily updates on breaking news as well as the top headlines across Scotland. No one will be able to see who is signed up and no one can send messages except the Daily Record team. All you have to do is click here if you're on mobile, select Join Community and you're in. If you're on a desktop, simply scan the QR code above with your phone and click Join Community. We also treat our community members to special offers, promotions, and adverts from us and our partners. If you don't like our community, you can check out anytime you like. To leave our community, click on the name at the top of your screen and choose Exit Group. If you're curious, you can read our privacy notice. In this situation, people are expecting you to bring in your PR company. But if I know I've done nothing wrong and my name is attached to something, I'll be the first one to say, "It's F.K. all to do with me, wish everyone the best, and I'm out." Bye. Following the reports, the young person at the center of the controversy later said via lawyers, in a letter to the BBC, that nothing inappropriate or unlawful happened with the presenter in question. The police also found that no criminal offence had been committed. But an internal BBC probe continued and Edwards was suspended.
I just need